Hi, laser brain.
I hate this. Okay, whatever.
Hi, laser
Hi,
brain.
other laser brain. Oh, and you can see the movie and everything. How nice. How are you doing today?
Not too good.
Why?
Homeowners insurance went up by $900, and they weren't even going to tell me. They tried to sneak it past me.
Oh, that's not good. I don't have that.
So I'm leaving this planet. Do you have any idea how I can leave?
Mm, I don't know how they left in the movie. I think they just did
They
it.
stuck their thumb out, and a ship flew by, and they got on it.
Did I? I really missed that. That's kind of the Hitchhiker thing.
Yeah, I don't know.
I missed it. I
Hello,
missed a
laser
lot in that
brains.
movie. Hello.
This is Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy,
Hmm.
not to be confused with the Hollywood remake, but the original radio drama turned into a TV show for the BBC. That's a
Wow.
mouthful.
That's a lot of big words you're using. Where are you? Hello?
Yeah, did you ever read the book?
I did not. You did give me the audiobook, and I heard parts of it, and that's about as far as I went. I didn't really remember a lot of this movie. I remember the robot.
Hmm.
I remembered the beginning really well because that's the part that would play every single night and
Hmm.
then would shut off, and then I'd listen to it again the next night. So, I mean, those parts I knew pretty well. Everything else was kind of wild.
So this, I should tell you, was really long.
It was really long. That's probably why I didn't retain a lot of it. I have trouble focusing for that amount of time, even though we broke it up into chunks.
This was so long that when we got to the end, I had no idea. I'd never seen that or have zero memory of it.
Mm-hmm.
That's how far it got. And I'm not 100% sure how many books they crammed into this.
Oh, it sounded like a lot.
Right. But they never really talked about the dolphins, did they?
They did for a second. They said thanks for all the fish.
So you get almost all the way through, you get to, they go to the restaurant at the end of the galaxy. That's there. I
I
don't,
like that part of the show movie.
and so long and thanks for all the fish, but I can't recall them saying so long and thanks for all the fish.
Yeah, they said that.
They did.
Hmm.
Okay, well, so
There
that's
was
in
like
there
a
too.
small chunk. It was very tiny.
So you think it covered every book there was?
Well, I don't know. I've never read the books. How was I supposed to know?
Well, I know one book was Restaurant at the End of the,
Yeah, that's the one thing you
I
did.
think it was the end of time or end of the universe.
Mm-hmm.
So it wasn't so much distance as it was time travel.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it
And
was time travel.
and then it was as they were leaving and right before the earth was about to be destroyed, the dolphins beamed up into space,
Well,
but the
they
last thing they said was so long and thanks for all the
well
fish.
they did all these like mini things in between, like chunks from the
Right.
Hitchhiker's Guide. They'd kind of sprinkle them in throughout the main story with our ragtag team. You got these little sprinkles of dolphins. You got the little bit of rats. You got just a bunch of random stuff.
Special effects were top notch on those rats.
Well, that was fun. I really liked. One of my favorite parts was all the sounds they used, the science fictiony noises.
So that's interesting. So you should tell everybody. I think this was 78, 77,
Mhm.
79, somewhere in that time. And BBC is notoriously low budget.
Mhm.
Think original Doctor Who.
Mhm.
What did you think of? I mean, they were essentially almost cardboard scenery.
I loved it. I thought it was very fun. I mean, I don't think I want it to be redone because then it takes away the charm.
Well, they redid it in a Hollywood movie, and the special effects were way better, but they kind of condensed everything.
Mhm.
So it was like a regular 90-minute movie or whatever. I don't know. You didn't seem to get the flavor of it, in my
Yeah.
opinion.
Well, I thought this was it was like its own special kind of thing. It reminded me of those old movies. It had a very specific type of humor.
Well, that's the book.
Well, yeah.
I'm not gonna be able to do anything
Well,
about
I think
that.
with the low budget in combination with that book's humor is really good. That's why I
Hmm.
think they probably shouldn't redo it. I like it the way it is.
I agree with that.
Yeah, I think you just got to see it as a mini show. You know how they do like 9 episodes all at once and it's basically a
That's essentially
movie?
what it was. Yeah.
Yeah, that's what it needed to be. We watching that first chunk because eventually my interest starts to die.
So, what did you think of the robot?
I love the robot. He's one of my favorites.
Why?
Because he's depressed. And that's all he does.
That is good.
Yeah.
What about Zaphod? What did you think of him?
Can you? I don't know the names.
He's the guy with 2 heads.
Oh, yeah. You needed to have him there in that group because he, like, was kind of like the other side, you know?
The difference between watching this and reading the book is very clear that this guy is just all charisma.
Mm-hmm.
He's a natural born leader and people just flock to him and believe everything he says, and that's how he was able to get away with all the stuff he had.
Mm-hmm.
You know, think of now he would be a Taylor Swift type
Mm-hmm.
who everybody thinks is the best ever
Mm-hmm.
and can get away with anything. That's sort of what he was in the book.
Okay.
That's how come he was able to become president of the universe and
Mm-hmm.
steal the ship.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I mean, I didn't really... That's not really what was into question. It was sort of... You needed to have this small group of people because they all kind of complemented each other. You had, like... You had the robe guy, the skeptic.
He's the Earthman, yeah.
Yeah. And
so
then,
he's sort of us.
Then you had the charismatic, and then you had the girl.
The girl who's the brains.
Yeah, I guess she was the brain. She wasn't particularly smarter compared to the other people.
She was the one running the ship, seemed to know everything.
Yeah, I'm just saying, like, maybe they were here and she was, like, here. It wasn't, like, up here.
Well, Zaphod is all good time. He's a good time Charlie, where she is responsible for running everything.
Yeah, she's responsible. That's what she is.
And you had Ford, who is the sort of vagabond traveler.
Well, yeah, he's the one who needs to collect all this info.
Well, but he's just like, he's hopping around from planet to planet.
He's down for an adventure.
He's not interested in settling or
just moving around.
Power or world dominance.
Exactly.
And then you had Arthur, who is us.
Mm-hmm. Well, I think I would have had a little bit more fun than him.
Well, his planet was destroyed and everybody he ever knew, including his house.
He'll be fine.
So.
I do think it's fun that he was preventing his house from getting run over and then they blew up Earth.
Yeah. Well, did you realize it was the same situation?
Yeah, except Earth.
Right.
Yeah.
They
needed to build a road or a space road. Yeah.
A bypass. Mm-hmm. But what was funny to me is that's how, if you've ever dealt with the government, that's how they are. Mm-hmm. They are very shifty. Speaking of the insurance that I just found out today, where they try to slip that past you, I'm sure they would have said, well, we notified you in your policy. It's on display in the basement, in the library, behind a blocked door.
Yeah.
It's that sort of stuff.
Were you the one who came up with that joke, or did we hear that somewhere?
What?
That library joke.
No, that's in the movie.
Oh.
When he's laying in front of the bulldozer.
Yeah. Okay. I remember hearing that, and it like rung a bell, and I was like.
And then when the Vogons came to Earth and gave us our message, they gave the same speech. Well, you could have read the plans in some other planet they had no ability to get to.
Exactly. I mean, for the most part, it's kind of stuff happened. It didn't.
Well, it's a comment on society.
Well, yeah, but it wasn't like super linear in any way. Actually, you want to know who my favorite characters were? Were those cop guys. That whole bit where, because they're hiding, they're going to get shot by them. And
yeah, those are the Vogons with the bad poetry, yeah.
No, did they have the bad poetry? I thought they were the cop guys.
They were on the ship.
They worked.
They were stowaways. They hitchhiked. Remember, they woke up in the cargo bay.
Yeah, those.
And then they were discovered, and then he sent the soldiers after them. But before they were to be executed, they had to listen to his poetry.
That's not what I'm talking about.
Okay.
Later.
I don't know. No. What do you mean later? Okay. Later where? What were they doing?
They were trying to run away. Remember, no matter where they went, they were blocked off. And then you had the 2 guys up here who was just like chatting with them, like, we're gonna beat you up a little bit. Will you let us beat you up a little bit? And
stuff. Oh, I know who you're talking about. Yeah, those 2. That was weird. I didn't remember that from the book.
I like those guys.
Yeah.
I think that whole scene was funny.
Yeah, those 2 were kind of silly.
Yeah, but it was like in a fun way.
What did you think of when they were at the restaurant and their meal was brought over?
What do you mean by that?
Well, you should know what I'm talking about by their meal was brought over.
I don't think I do.
It was a giant space pig.
Oh, the pig talking to them?
Yeah, convincing them to eat him.
Okay. Well, I mean, if he wanted it.
Okay.
He gave permission.
I thought it was pretty wild.
Well,
Well, he
Well,
was bred to give permission. So did he really give
yeah.
permission?
Well, you can start getting existential on me and stuff, but you heard what he said. He's like, oh, well, I'll just go die with no purpose served. See you later.
Yeah. Well, that's almost like a brainwashing.
Yeah, well, I mean, I'm not getting existential right
All
now.
right.
That's a mind warp, you know?
So would you recommend this to anybody?
It's long. Like I said, you're
You'd break it
talking,
up into pieces.
you're talking about stuff, and I think there was so much happening and so much going on that there's no way I got everything. Like I need to watch it again in smaller chunks.
Well, the radio play I think, was done over many
Mhm.
different episodes. So when they
Yeah.
filmed it, I was actually surprised at the detail they went into this miniseries,
Mhm.
which is what the movie couldn't match.
Mhm.
Because clearly they compressed all of the books into that one movie, which they should have. They should have done it book by book, in my opinion, but it didn't make any money.
Yeah, because
So
it was a lot.
yeah, it was a
It was a
info dump.
bulldog of information. That's why it was kind of hard to follow at some points, but then it would make sense later. But then you had to remember stuff that happened before.
Whereas this one's pretty good. It's pretty full.
I think I like this one.
You're never going to get as much information as you do in the books, but
I've been meaning to read the books. I probably need to.
well, you're going to need some free time.
Exactly.
With a lot of books.
Yeah, well, I'm trying to get back into reading, young man.
All right.
Read more book.
Well, that's all we have to say about that. I know this one's going to be a shorter video because sometimes we just go on and on and on.
What were we talking about? We were talking about U.S. Marshals for a very long time.
I know, we just gab away. Really, this one is really hard to explain. If you've read the books and you like the books, there's no reason why you wouldn't like this version. I'll put this above the Hollywood version in the early 2000s.
Out of all the Laserdiscs we've seen so far, where do you think it ranks?
It's hard to say because it's so long. Is it better than U.S. Marshals? Yeah. Is it better than Close Encounters? Yeah.
Yeah. So I think this is the best we've seen so far, and we've seen 3, is what I'm hearing.
And you'd put this above Yanni?
Yeah. I think I might.
Well, I saw it one without you, too. You weren't here. It was Neil Diamond in concert.
How was
and that was actually better than
that? Okay, well,
this. I'm not even a Neil Diamond fan, really.
Well, out of the movies we saw, I think this is the best so far. This is also one I've been meaning to watch. It's another classic. If it's based off a book, it's probably a classic.
Well, I wonder how many people here have seen this. This isn't that easy to find.
Yeah.
It was a minor miracle that this was in that lot. I remember
had a lot of cool
somewhere in the 90s, I stumbled into a British store in LA. And this was there, and I went,
well, yeah,
I'd only heard the radio drama. I had no idea there was a film. So it was a video cassette, and I bought that, and that's when I saw it.
Yeah, and the listening to it was fun too. It's basically the same vibe.
It's the same people.
It's all those cheesy sound effects and
the same people that did the radio play.
It's
did
pretty
the film.
good. It's British humor.
Well, I think that's going to do it for this Laser Brain. We still have the Axel F Blu-ray fiasco to talk about. That one's not going to be as long. I opened it, and there are some secrets. We have got...
Do you want to talk about it in this video?
No, I'm just letting people know it's coming. There's circumstances beyond our control. It's going to take longer than I thought it was going to take, but it's coming. And also, Voyager, Star Trek, the complete series, Blu-rays, bootleg.
Why
So
did you
we need to
those?
discuss that. The quality of them is done so well, and I got those on eBay. You're not supposed to have illegal items on eBay. Both of them are illegal.
Okay, great.
And they are giving me such a hard time getting satisfaction. But I'm not going to mention any more until I tell you what happened with the stuff. So I don't want to give away the whole juice, but there'll be more to say about that. And there's a DVD roundup.
You have more DVDs?
Yeah, there's a roundup.
Didn't we just do one before I left?
Yeah, well, there's more. They're always coming.
Well, keep in mind, we usually are supposed to update every Sunday.
Right, you weren't here.
Yeah, and then we did it beforehand, remember?
That was the Axel F. We did an emergency quick video.
I thought we did it before I left.
Nay.
Oh, you blew that one.
I don't even think it was in the Ghostbuster trap. It was just, hey, check this out. Here it is.
Well, yeah, then it'll be a better video because you'll have a better haul.
Well, if you remember, I said, hey, this is probably a bootleg. It says
No,
there
was one we did because I talked about the menu.
that was a full episode. Had nothing. Axel F wasn't here yet.
Yeah, I wasn't talking about Axel F. Whatever.
Well, you didn't do one Sunday. We've done 2 on Sunday.
Mm-hmm.
One Sunday, one Sunday, one. Next Sunday, you weren't here.
Okay.
There's only ever been 2 proper DVD roundups.
I think I'll be okay.
You'll be okay.
Yeah, I think you'll be okay too.
I think I will be okay.
I think it'll make
but
a
the
better...
millions of fans out there that are dying to find out what happened with Axel F.
You can film that on your own, young man.
I probably could.
Yeah, because all I did was just hold the phone up at you and had it face you.
Hey, that's a noble job. Don't cut yourself short there. And we have to do one on Voyager.
Yeah. Shouldn't that be in the same one? Because you're talking about...
No, because people
like
necessarily...
a bootleg roundup.
An Axel F isn't necessarily a Star Trek Voyager fan and vice versa.
Yeah, but it's interesting to people who want to see the bootlegs.
Well, they'll be able to see their bootlegs. I think the crossover is small.
Okay.
Especially the Duran Duran review. I don't think the same people are looking at that are looking at these laser discs.
So you're going to go ahead and you're going to send me the songs you want for the next.
Yeah, that list should already be up, yeah.
Well, the first one's already up. I'm talking about the one we're about to do.
Yeah, we'll do that. Okay. We'll get that ready whenever you return.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm going to say goodbye.
Bye. You ready for me?
Yeah, switch it off, and I'll leave you with these parting words until we return. Don't panic.
That's a really good line.
Thank you.
Did you come up with that? Okay.